Yeah, welcome back to my class again. Today we want to look at synchronizing threads. And to do this lecture, I'm going to use a story in the scripture. My channel is religion, science, and technology. My goal is try to show you analogy between these three realms, right? That is my goal. So in teaching you synchronizing threads, I'm going to use a story in the scripture, which is what? The story of Noah and the ark, right? To illustrate this class. Now, this class is going to show you the power of coordination, right? And orderliness. That is what I want to achieve with this. All along, we've been looking at the component part of Python. Now we are looking at using this component part to create a task, right? So in this class, synchronizing threads is how you are going to create multiple threads and then give them access to what? To something that is common to all of them. So to achieve this, already we are working on thread. So I'm going to import my threading module, right? So I'm going to import threading. This is a module that contains classes and objects that you are going to use. This is basically like you having the component parts, like maybe you enter into your kitchen to prepare a dish. You have all the ingredients located in different places. And then when you start the main preparation of the dish, you just pick this component part, which are the ingredients, and then you begin to mix them together. So this threading is a module that contains the things we are going to use for this transaction. Now I'm also going to import time. Import the time module because we will need a method inside this time module called sleep, which we will use to illustrate um, the actions that you are performing, right? So that's why we need this. Now, to find all the component parts of each of these modules, you can do this. You can do print, right? dir, and then we bring this in, threading, right? Then you will see the component part of this. What are the things inside? And then you can use this one, help, right? To find out those component parts, explanation on them. So you can do this on your IDE to be able to know those component parts and how you can use them. All right, so we are importing threading and then we import time. Now, we want a shared resources. So like in the story of Noah, the shared resources is the ark, right? So you have the ark, then you are going to have those animals coming into the ark and the people inside the ark. So the shared resources will be what? The ark. So I'm going to call it ark, right? And I will assign 0 to it, meaning nothing is inside. So I will assign 0 to it. Now, let me really manage the board because we have a lot to write. So I'm going to bring this very close to this. Import time. Then the shared resource is the ark. So you assign 0 to it. Then the next thing is what? We are going to create a lock, just like a key, right? To enter into a place. So without that key, you cannot gain access. So who got that key? Who has the key will open the door and then go in. So we have to create a lock. So we'll create a lock object, right? Now to create this lock object, we are going to use a class inside this threading module. So we'll now say threading dot lock. So we are calling this constructor to create a lock object for us. And that lock object will be stored here. So this is a variable which is referencing the lock object. Now, I also need you to understand the concept. In writing this program, we are dealing with different realms. Just like in a human being, we have the spirit, the soul, and the body, right? So you have your body, which is here in this physical world manifesting. But there is the soul and then there is the spirit. When you are looking at all this, you must understand us applying these three realms in writing a script. So threading.lock, we are calling a constructor of this lock method. We are using it to create this lock object. We are using this to create the lock object. So this lock object is a reference to what? To the object in the physical realm, right? So we have created an object. We've created um, a shared resources, which is what? This arc, meaning the arc is what everybody is going to use. Then we create a lock. So the next thing is let's create the action. What is it we want to do? So the action will be what? The action will be what? Will be a function. Now, so we'll say def define, right? And what is it we want to do? We want to load this arc. So loading arc. And then we'll give it what? A name. So who is going to do this job? Now, having done this, this is the object. This is the function, which is the task that we want to perform. The task that we want to perform is to load this arc. We are going to be adding animals. We are going to be loading animals into this arc. That's what we want to do. All right, loading the arc. Then who is going to do that? It will be the name of the thread. That's what we are putting here. Now, to load the arc, which is this, we have to bring the arc into this place. So since it is a global arc, it's a global resources. So we'll say global, right, arc. We are bringing it inside this function to enable us manipulate it. Now, having done that, the next thing we want to do is what? We want to print out a string literal, give an instruction to say you are starting this process. So here we say print, then we'll call our format string and we'll do this. So in this place, we will say starting, um, starting, then we'll do this and we'll say name. Then we'll close this. I will explain. So this line, what we are doing here is that if Noah is the main thread, Noah is the main thread, he's going to give instruction to his two children. He has three children, but they are just going to use two. So we are going to use Shem and Ham in this place. So these two kids, Noah is going to give them instruction to load the ark with the animals, right? That is what Noah is going to do. So here is starting. So it's like saying, Shem, you can start now. Ham, you can start now. That is what this line is saying. So he's giving the instruction to them to start this. So starting the name. Then the next thing we want to do here is, what is it we want to perform? First, whoever is going to start must obtain the lock, meaning he has gotten the instruction from the father to go ahead and start loading. So to obtain that lock is, we'll say with, which is this lock, with lock, right? Then you go in. Now you've obtained the lock. So you can now go in. That is what? The coordination. So you've obtained the lock. You can now go in and start loading the animals. After that, the second person will also obtain the lock and then start to load the animal. So with lock, since we are going to be loading the animals, we will need a loop. We will load the first pair of animals. We'll come back again, load the second pair, come back again, load the third pair. So let's assume we are going to load 10 animals and each 5 for the first child to load, then another 5 for the second child to load. So with lock, you've obtained the lock. Now go ahead and start loading. So with lock, for now, I will use underscore in, right? For in, then I'll use range 5. Go in, and what are you to do? For in range 5, go in and increment this. So what we will just do is arc plus 1. So what I'm saying here is this. In this place, I'm using a for loop. I could have reduced a variable instead of this underscore. If I'm going to use that variable inside my loop, then I can use a variable here. I can change this place to A for A in range 5. But since I'm not going to use this A inside this at all, that is why I'm using underscore. It's just a variable, right? Now, this range is what? Is the same thing as saying um, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is what this range 5 is showing me. So range, that is what it is. So I will load this 0 to this variable, then I will go in and I will increase. Since I'm not using this variable inside my loop, that is why I'm using underscore. So what I want to do inside this loop is to increase this arc, meaning I've loaded the first pair of animal. So for underscore in range 5, go in and increase the arc. The arc is already 0, and I've brought it in here, which is what? Global arc. So the first time, once I obtain the lock, I will load the first animal. The arc has increased by 1, right? Then I will sleep for like 2 seconds. So I will come here and I will say time dot sleep. So I'm calling a sleep method inside this time module, right? And I'll sleep for 2 seconds. This is just to simulate the action of arranging this animal inside what? Inside the arc. That is just what this is. Then I'll say print. I'll call my format string. What I want to print out is this person has loaded this animal. So I am going to do this. Then I will say this, which is what? This name. I will close this. Then I will do this for what? Arc. Right? This, then I'll close my string, then I'll close the parentheses. Right? So that is what I have done. What is the next thing I'm going to do now? Having done this, I will now come out and I will say print. I will come out from my string again, and I will say exiting name. Then I will close this, and then I will close this. All right. So this is my task. This is my task. This is my task. So I've created my task. And what is the task? My goal is to increase this arc, meaning load animals into the arc. And that is what I have done here. So once I obtain the lock, then I'll start loading the animal. So the first animal, which is what? This 0 will go in. Then I will increase the arc by 1. I will sleep for 2 seconds. Then I will print out the name, which is whatever name I'm going to supply, which is the thread. The name and then this arc, meaning 1. So whatever is inside the arc. So here the arc will have been increased by 1. So the first animal has been loaded. I will load the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and the fifth one. That's what this is. After that, I will exit this loop. Then I will come out and I will print exiting name. So if it is Shem, that was the first child that was instructed to load, Shem will now finish his own task, exiting Shem. That's what this will show you. Now, Ham will now obtain the lock and then start loading. So Ham will load the 6th animal, the 7th animal, the 3rd one, the 8th one, the 9th one, and then the 10th one. Then it will exit Ham. Then the process will conclude. So now I have created my task. I have created the arc. I have created the lock, which they are going to obtain to perform this task. Now I want to create the thread, right? So I want to create the thread. I will come here and I will say thread 1. thread 1. Then I'm going to call the constructor, which is what? The thread class inside this threading module. So thread 1, so I'll say threading dot thread, right? Then in this place, I'm going to use that my target method. So what is the target? What is this thread going to perform? The thread is expected to perform loading arc. So I will say target equals to loading arc. And then what is the argument that will be given to it? The argument will be what? Name. So I'm going to do this. I will say shem, right? Now, it is not just a string. It is a tuple. So I'm going to put comma here. And then I will close this, right? For this, then I will have this other one closed. All right, so this is the first thread that I've created. I've given a name to this thread, which is what? Shem. Now, once I call the thread, this thread 1, once thread 1 is created, this is the variable that is referencing this object. So the name of the object is Shem. Now, it's going to activate this loading arc and to supply this Shem to it. Then it will go in and it will print starting Shem. Then Shem will obtain the lock, and then Shem will start loading the arc with the animals. So arc 1, the arc will increment by 1. It will sleep for 2 seconds. Then it will print out Shem 1. Then it will go back again and reiterate. It will print out Shem 2, Shem 3, Shem 4, Shem 5. Then it will exit this loop and it will come up to this one and print out exiting Shem. Now, I'm going to create the second thread. So here I will say thread 2. Now, the same thing, threading dot thread target equals to loading arc, right? Then arcs will be what? Ham, comma. All right, so this is the second thread that I've created. Now I've created 2 threads. I don't think you are still going to see this place again. So what I will do is I will come here to start this thread. So I'm going to clean this up. So now to start this thread, I will say thread 1 dot start. I'll call the start function. Thread 2 dot start. I'll call the start function. Then still under it, but I'll write it here. Thread 1 dot join. Thread 2 dot join. I will explain, right? Then still under it, because all this should be under here, but because you cannot see, that's why I'm writing this. Now still under it, I will now print Noah closed the arc, right? Now, this is the final thing that you are going to print out. So let me explain. Now, after we created the 2 threads, in thread synchronization, these 2 threads are going to start concurrently. So Noah is the main thread that is giving instruction to his 2 children. They are going to start concurrently. So on the screen, the first thing that will be printed out on the screen will be what? It will go in, it will come here, starting Shem, starting Ham. Those are the 2 things you will see on the board, because Noah has just given instruction to his two children that Shem and Ham, both of you will load the ark with the animals, right? That is what that instruction is. Now, Shem will now obtain the lock first. Having obtained the lock, Shem will now go in and start loading the animals. Shem will load 5 pair of animals. Then it will hand over the lock to Ham. Ham will now load the second 5. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then they will come out. This is when Noah started both of them, giving them the instruction. This 2 line is instructing Noah to wait for the children to finish loading before Noah will perform this task. So this is blocking Noah from locking the ark. After they've loaded the animals into the ark, Noah can now do what? Print out, Noah close the ark. That is the end of the task. So synchronizing thread is obtaining this lock. Obtaining this lock. So you have to create a lock, you obtain the lock, and then, otherwise, if they don't do that, imagine Shem and Ham trying to load at the same time. That will probably cause a stampede. So that is the goal of this class, just to show you how to coordinate a process. So let's go to the PyCharm and let me demonstrate this for you to see. This is our PyCharm, as you can see. Now I have written the script because the video is long. I don't want it to be too long. I'm just going to run through the script and then I will explain and then execute the script. So like what we saw on the board, importing thread in, importing time, the arc which we assign 02, then lock. We have created the lock object by calling the lock method inside the threading module. Then this is the task, so which is what? The function loading arc. Then we are bringing in the arc as a global variable, and then we are printing out starting name, whatever name will be supplied. So once that thread obtain the lock, then it's going to increment this arc by moving the pair of animals. So arc 1, arc will increase by 1, then wait for 2 seconds, which is like the time delay of arranging the animal inside the arc. Then to print out the thread name and then the arc, so which is like Shem 1, Shem 2. It will reiterate. It will continue until it is 5 times. Then it will print out exit name. That means to come out of this loop and then it will exit Shem. Then Ham will now obtain the lock and repeat the same step up to 10. So Ham will now continue from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is what this starting means. So this is where Noah, which is the main thread, is waiting for all of them to finish. Then once that is done, Noah will now print out, this will now print out, Noah close the arc. So we are looking at the 3 realms, the physical realm, the soul realm, and then the spirit realm. Whatever you see on the screen is the physical realm. That is what I needed to understand. So let's execute this script. So you can see starting Shem and starting Ham. So Shem has obtained the lock. Now he's filling the arc with the animals. You can see that there's a delay of 2 seconds. That delay, so now, see, Ham has now obtained it. So Ham is now filling the arc. He will fill it up to 10. See, Ham now exits, and then Noah what? Close the arc. That is what you mean by synchronizing thread. So Ham and Shem were not trying to take in the animals at the same time. They were doing it one after the other. So that is what I want to show you in this class. Don't forget to click on the like button and don't forget to share this video. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Till we see you in the next class. Bye-bye.